What's going on, guys? BMP back with week 4 of sequel month with Five-Headed Shark Attack. Fun fact, there is no Four-Headed Shark Attack movie. It jumped right from 3 to 5 because in this movie, we start out with a four-headed shark.
Which was like half the movie.
Yeah, it really was. Like most of the movie, he only had the 4 heads. And then when we get the 5th, it looks nothing like this. And we'll explain when we get there.
Is my background your background, but without the title?
Yep.
Oh.
So the movie, of course, follows this four-headed shark, and as it's attacking people, it gets the attention of the local police, led by Captain Sterling and Officer Black, because the movie starts out with a bunch of people on a boat, and it's pretty much a modeling shoot. And of course, we get the lead up to the shark coming, and after it attacks those people, and Captain Sterling checks the boat, he finds the camera, and right before the shark attacked, it was able to snap a quick picture of the shark.
Yeah.
So they bring it to Dr. Yo, who is an expert in marine biology, and they ask her if something like this could be possible. And I actually really appreciated this because it was a nice little bit of continuity that they brought into it and kept up with the lore of the series, because she says herself,
there have been reports of sharks with multiple heads. I've heard of 2 and even 3-headed sharks.
So shout out to the previous movies. So what you find out is that Dr. Yo actually leads a group of interns in marine biology, and they're all led by Thaddeus Marshall, aka not Michael Keaton. And I appreciated it if we can call him that the rest of this movie, like we did with Not Tom Cruise. You see from the right off the get-go, he's pretty much a dick. He tries to write off the police with the four-headed shark picture, saying it's a hoax, it's not real, it's a myth, but then immediately gets everyone on a boat to go hunt it down himself just because he wants it for the money. Everyone's on this boat now, and they're trying to find this shark. So they throw cameras in the water to try to get footage of it. It ends up eating one of the cameras, and of course we get our first major death of the movie, which is Sean. Sean is unlucky enough to be standing at the edge of the boat when the shark attacks, and he gets eaten right up.
That was a reoccurring thing, though, that whoever was about to get eaten was at the edge of the boat.
Always. And it got to the point that it was such a trend in the movie that anytime someone stood by the edge, we were worried, like, oh, come on, not them. Don't kill them right now.
We get to a point in the movie where there's just this fishing boat in the water, and they're trying to get some fish. And the shark just goes right under the boat, gently taps underneath it once, and the whole thing gets capsized. Everybody falls out. The boat just goes completely upside down. But he doesn't do that to lighter boats in the movie. But the heavy fishing boat, he tipped over in one shot.
After the group loses Sean, not Michael Keaton talks them into going out again after the shark. And really, I'm not going to lie, he's kind of persuasive in this movie. Like, he is a piece of shit, but what he says kind of makes sense. Like, especially if you're catering to the marine biologists who care about the ocean life. He says, if we leave this thing in the water, countless more ocean life is going to die. Other people are going to come try to poach this thing, and they're going to kill countless other sharks thinking that it's this one. So you'd actually be doing everyone a favor and doing a good deed if you went out to catch this thing. And I was like, damn, like, okay. Master of manipulation over here. So in order now to take down this shark, or to capture this shark, Dr. Yo enlists the help of an ex-boyfriend, Red. That's all he goes by, Red. And he's pretty much a shark hunter, they allude to in the movie. So he agrees to do it, and now everyone is on this boat, including the rest of the interns who survived. And that is actually when we get to the point where we see the tourist boat, and Matt, you had a point about this as well.
At the tourist boat, they all see the shark in the water, and they're like, all right, let's get out of here. And start the boat. Here's the shark coming towards them. Start the boat. You had so much time, though, to get out of there. Why did you wait for that very last second for him to just, like, swim under and nudge the boat and then come back around again? You had so much time. Instead of just worrying about everybody to get towards the front of the boat, You could start the boat. Tell everyone, sit down, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, even when he radioed in the Mayday, I would have done that while driving the boat away.
Yeah.
You know, you can multitask in this situation. You don't have to do one then the other. And that actually brings me to my next point, because when Captain Sterling gets the call, him, Officer Black, and this other random officer who we've never seen before run down the dock to try to catch it as the tourist boat is coming in. And you quickly realize why they brought in this third random officer that no one saw, because he starts opening fire on the shark and then immediately gets chomped up.
Guys, it's coming! It's coming!
Yeah, because, shooting a four-headed shark, because that's going to work. But you know how we knew that was going to happen? Because he went immediately to the edge of the boat.
After he eats the random officer, he ends up making a beeline towards Red's boat where everyone else is. And, of course, Lindsay, another one of the interns, is now standing at the edge of the boat. In the exact same location, it's not the same boat, but the same location on the boat that Sean was standing in when he was eaten. So, of course, what happens? She gets eaten too. But that's not even the biggest takeaway from this scene, because this scene, this chunk of maybe 2 minutes, was so riddled with bad continuity errors that I couldn't even ignore it. I mean, we actually have people wearing different outfits, scene to scene, and then jumping back. And then even Lindsay herself, she gets eaten, then the shark gets harpooned by Red, and then she's not eaten, but then as the shark's going back in the water, it takes her with him. So it's like that whole 2 to 3 minutes was just a mess of a scene, a total train wreck. And then, like I said, everyone was wearing different outfits. Even Ram. Ram was wearing, I believe, a green shirt. And then they cut to a different scene, and he's wearing a snapback and a black tank top. And it's like, okay, so maybe he took his shirt off. But then the next scene right after that, he's wearing the green shirt again. It was so bad.
It was like they used the scene from the end of the movie first to put in there because they forgot a scene.
Yeah, because he's actually wearing that exact outfit in the final act of the movie.
Later on in the movie, we get to the point, the big climactic fight with the shark. And so it's Sterling and Officer Black in one boat and the rest in the other boat. So we see the shark under Sterling's boat. Then they're looking for it. We watch it swim away, and the next shot, he's back under the boat. And then he tips it. I don't know how he managed. It must have been the Flash, because we watched him swim away, and he just appeared under the boat.
But that goes back to the continuity errors we were talking about, because it's almost like they didn't follow through with the exact scenes or ideas that they were implementing. But Chris, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that actually leads me into the next major death of the movie, which is Officer Black. Because they lost track of the shark, Officer Black goes to the front of the boat, outside the cabin, to try to get a better look. So, of course, she's at the edge of something. What's going to happen? The shark nudges the boat. Officer Black falls in and gets chomped up.
Then we're back at the day off, as they call it, is Red's boat. On the boat, and Dr. Yost and Kate are looking at the radar. And she turns to her and goes,
It's moving fast.
How fast?
Very.
and then it just bothered me, because that's that reoccurring thing we're getting in these movies lately, where they ask the simplest question that doesn't need to be responded with another question. Like, it's moving fast. Well, how fast? Who cares how fast? It's just moving fast.
Like, what'd she expect her to say? Like 30 miles an hour?
It doesn't have a speedometer on it.
This final act of the movie with Red's boat and Captain Sterling's boat having this final confrontation with the shark actually lasted for like possibly over a half hour of the movie. Like, they really took this final act and made it big. And in this final act, we get possibly the only death that isn't like through stupidity of standing at the edge of the boat, because Kate ends up falling into the water. Well, she was standing at the edge of the boat. She fell into the water. And at that point, we were like, oh, come on. Like, not Kate. Like, why does she have to die? Ram follows after her and just as a side note, does absolutely nothing to help save her. Like, she swims herself back to the boat, no problem. And he just ends up swimming behind her. As the shark is about to attack them, not Michael Keaton just hurls a harpoon into this thing. And he starts celebrating that he won and killed it.
I got it! You see that? I got it! I killed that freaking shark!
And the shark starts swimming away, carrying the roped harpoon. The rope snags not Michael Keaton's ankle and hooks him right into the water, right into the shark's mouth.
Oh, crap.
So that might be the only death in the movie that we got that wasn't just happening inadvertently because they stood at the edge of the boat. Captain Sterling calls in a search and rescue copter to get Red's crew out of there because the shark apparently is very intelligent and knocked out the rudders of both boats. So they're both dead in the water. No one can move. So they either kill it, get killed, or somehow escape. So this chopper is now coming in to rescue them, and this is after Thaddeus is killed. I'm sorry, not Michael Keaton is killed. And as the helicopter is coming towards them, the shark jumps out of the water, grabs the chopper, and pulls it right in.
Did that just happen?
Yeah, so I'm glad we're all in agreement of how ridiculous that idea is. The one thing we forgot to mention is how this movie gets its name. Because for the first half of the movie, it is just a four-headed shark. And then it randomly evolves, but not like this. This is not what we get in the movie. What we actually get in the movie is the fifth head comes from the tail. Which is different. I will admit that's very, very different, especially after seeing Three-Headed Shark Attack and now the beginning of this one. You assume that it's just going to grow out of the front.
Like, yeah.
Although I do feel bad for this new fifth head because he kind of got the shit end of the stick the whole rest of the movie because he's just in the water like this. Poor guy's just getting dragged around everywhere, flipped back and forth. He can't control nothing. So the final action scene of the movie is when they have no options left. They're both dead in the water. No help is coming for them. Red has one idea left. He grabs the rest of the depth charges that he has, hooks them up to a giant fishing hook, and throws himself off the boat and stabs it into the shark. And then the shark starts going away with him. And of course now everyone's standing there waiting for him to surface. He doesn't, and the explosion goes off. And here we get the typical cliche, you think the guy died moment.
Oh my god.
You know how you know he's not dead? Because they didn't show his death to this very important character. And what happens 2 seconds after I finish saying that? This.
You miss me?
Yep, popped right out of the water. And that's true in these movies, specifically asylum movies. If you don't see some kind of footage of the death, you have to assume that guy's coming back at some point.
Oh, of course.
So Red survives, the shark is blown up, and that's the end of the movie. And again, I'm seeing that in a trend lately that these movies are ending more and more abrupt, you know, because there was no closing scene of the movie. There was no, final cleanup of characters or storylines. He gets out of the water, they all hug, and the movie ends. Like, that's it. Just like when we watched Megaquake last time, they all got into the chopper, it flew off screen, and we got credits. Like, it's the same thing where it's just these abrupt endings. So let's get on to our gradings. Matt, we'll start with you.
I'm gonna give this a B.
Okay.
It wasn't crap. It had its moments. I don't want to dig too far into the barrel and pull out that F. But I'll give it a B for, our classic B movies.
Chris, how about you?
I'm also going to go with a B. It wasn't dog shit, but it was close.
I'm also going to give this movie a solid B. It was pretty entertaining, to be honest. And I feel like this movie's storyline was more entertaining than Three-Headed Shark Attacks.
Oh, definitely.
And this one seemed more streamlined of an idea. Like, you had these people who were actually going on the hunt for this shark. It wasn't just a constant cat and mouse chase like the last one, you know, because they were all pretty much like innocent civilians who were just being tormented by the shark. This, they were actively hunting it. They had game plans. They had ideas. And that just made it more entertaining to watch. So it is definitely a solid B from me. So guys, that's our review on Five-Headed Shark Attack. Tune in next week when we tackle the direct sequel of this, Six-Headed Shark Attack, for our final week of sequel month. As always, guys, like and share this video if you like what we had to say. Comment down below what you thought of the movie or suggestions of movies you want us to check out. Subscribe to catch more of these reviews every week. But as always, guys, I'm Anthony.
Matt?
Chris.
And we'll see you next time. Later.